Oh, I'm live. Okay. Oh, I just muted myself. How's it going? Um, I haven't done any of these live videos, which are admittedly basically for me alone. Um, I guess sometimes a friend or a subscriber hops in and watches them live. Um, but I've been in a little bit of a like I've got 3 kids, I've got a full-time job, and I've got a a music. I mean, I prefer to call it a music life to calling it a music career because financially, oh man, it's so weird seeing yourself when you haven't really taken a lot of grooming time. And YouTube doesn't give you YouTube puts a thing right in front of your face and makes it all black. It's got to give you a preview so you can kind of figure out what you're looking like. But anyway, I've had a period of intense busyness and haven't been able to. Sometimes I don't even feel like I'm able to follow a thought all the way through, like I sometimes have been able to do in the past. So um, I was thinking about something spurred on by some conversations on Twitter, and as usually happens, and started pacing around working through something. And I thought maybe I'll try this live thing again. And so what it is, let me see. I can even look up the initial tweet that I said. Um, yeah, I was saying I'm reflecting on the strange reversal of reality present in modern thought. Supposedly, it is better to change our minds based on cold, hard facts than love. We actually stigmatize the idea that love would need to be a primary factor, as though it is mental weakness. And as I'm kind of like, as I'm reading that again, I'm realizing it's not exactly on point to even where this took my mind. So my Twitter friend Doug Wesney sent me a Paul Vanderklay video where he talks about the Peterson-Pajot pipeline into basically into Christianity. Now, and some thoughts in that video really got me going. Now, what I always struggle with this channel is that I do not want this channel to appeal to only to Christians and especially only to kind of intellectual Christians. I really want like people who would enjoy my videos to like these. And I think I've got kind of I'm in a unique position in my personal faith, my personal life journey, intellectual journey, where I've been in kind of a very prolonged season. I hate to use the term. I've been in a very prolonged season of um, unpacking and disentangling my real faith from the faith that was given to me. And most people in my position end up just leaving the faith, but I have found myself preoccupied with trying to kind of actually feel the feelings that would make you want to believe incredible things, strange things. So I had a conversation with Nate Heil and Paul Vanderklay about the resurrection, about hell. Actually, no, with those two, it was about hell. I had a conversation with Paul Vanderklay about the resurrection of Jesus and the how one would believe in the physical resurrection of Jesus. And both of those conversations that involved Paul, the second one involved Nate, were kind of about bridging the gap between seeing the utility of a belief, right? Because I grew up seeing the utility of certain beliefs versus like believing that they really are true. And that's a really tough leap for me, and I'm really glad that it is, because it's kind of thrown into question what it means to actually believe some of these kind of wild claims, like what it would mean to believe in hell, what it would mean to believe that heaven was real, what it would mean to believe that Christ physically rose from the grave. And I have to sit in these thoughts. I have to search for these feelings because I just don't have that simple assurance in my spirit that these things are just true, true in the way that, the reality of my family in my life is true or something. And I'm at the point of accepting that there's a purpose for this difficulty in my belief. There's a purpose for it, and the purpose is that I can actually maybe talk about this in a way that will be illuminating or enlightening. And this is I don't want to sound full of myself. This is my dream, my goal, to be able to talk about these things in a way that is illuminating, enlightening, and encouraging for people who believe them and for people who don't, without giving that really annoying caveat that, well, of course, this is all just psychological stuff. This is all mythology in the deadest sense of the term, mythology that is just basically narratives, instructive little tales and things, and it's not real. I think that's like that's the space that Christianity needs to be in if we're going to continue, if it's going to continue as a religion. We just can't be in the business of saying, come talk to us once you believe that Jesus came out of the grave smelling funny and walked again, So this Doug fellow sent me this video of Paul Vanderklay talking, and I was struck by something that wasn't really related to the original. Well, I'm sure it is related to the original tweet, but it hit me in a different way than my tweet, which is Paul started talking about the now and the not yet. And he uses the term eschatology, and so help me, I really have tried to avoid using terms like eschatology, but eschatology just being like the actually, well, let's look it up because I was about to give what I think is the definition: the part of theology concerned with death, judgment, and the final destiny of the soul and of humankind, according to the Oxford Dictionary. So the now and the not yet. And he quotes Jonathan Pageau. Actually, he just plays Jonathan Pageau saying, because Jonathan Pageau was talking about the end of the world and the beginning of a new world. And he said, the way that you move into a new world is to take the strength of the world that is ending and seed it into the next world. And that really struck me for the reason that it seemed immediately kind of viscerally desirable in a way, like, because we can all feel that that a certain kind of world is ending right now. I think we just have an actual sense of that. I don't mean that the planet is going to end or explode or whatever, but that some kind of human epoch is winding down. How long that epoch will take to wind down, maybe it'll be, maybe all of us will be long dead before any new epoch comes. But that's kind of my point, is that I kind of had a desire to, in that moment, to be a seed of, to be or contribute to the seed of strength, the seed of God that moves into the new world, right? Because we all know, I think, on some level that, we cannot create a brand new world with no past, and it wouldn't be good to do so. And we do see evidence in in culture and in the world of people wanting to pretend as though there's a clean slate, right? As though the future is like just entirely ours to write. And we can be what we want to be. We can leave behind the things we don't want to be, and we can just create. I guess I'm thinking of the most obvious example to me is like the transhumanists who want to, just kind of define what a human being even is, and become whatever they want to be, and integrate with technology, which I really don't think is going to work. So it struck me that I had a desire to be the seed, and to take part in being the seed of God that moves forward into the future, that moves forward beyond my life, and like sort of a legacy type idea, or even like entering the promised land, that Moses didn't enter the promised land. And it struck me that desire, because I've always struggled to believe in heaven. I guess I should just say that right off the bat, as though you didn't already understand that based on what I'm saying. I've struggled to believe in heaven. Like, I don't have that simple feeling that when I pass away, I'll open my eyes and I'll be in another place called heaven. And you get into that whole idea that, oh, maybe the heaven is here and now, which sounds great, and that would be in the Paul VanderKlay video, that would be the immanentizing of things that would be making salvation or making heaven a reality right now. And there's a lot of utility in that, and yet that burning desire for to be the seed that moves into the future, that the seed of something good, the seed of righteousness, to be a part of God's movement into the future, would seem like this is where it gets very difficult to describe. And this is where, honestly, my point may entirely fizzle out, because I'm trying to describe something that's right at the kind of limit of my ability to think. But I guess I'll start with the thought that crossed my mind, is like, is it possible for me to actually desire fruits of my labor that I will never see? And if you got kids, the quick answer is yes, of course, because you want them to have a good life. You want them to, you want them to have success, and that it's not dependent on you being there. In fact, you don't want the success of their lives and the happiness, their future happiness, to depend on you having to be there. You just don't want that. So yes, on the one hand, it's like, can we actually desire that we won't see the fruits of our labor? And it feels like the answer is both yes and no. Like, my desire to be a light that goes into the darkness beyond myself, if I'm honest, it doesn't feel like my default mode. It doesn't feel like something that I always feel. It feels like something that I feel in little drips and drabs, in little stabs of basically religious feeling, little moments of recognizing, not necessarily that I am satisfied now that my efforts in this world go beyond myself, but that that I'm submitted to that reality, and that my efforts in the here and now can only be fully satisfying to me if I am working for that future thing. And somehow the desire the desire for that unfulfilled longing, the desire for my longing specifically to not be fully fulfilled in this life is a holy thing, and is something that I was blessed to experience, and something that I guess is the reality. Oh man, I made a title for this video, and it feels like that feeling is my belief in heaven. In other words, maybe in this life, I will never have the feeling that I will never have the feeling that I'm certain when I wake up, I will be in heaven. I'm certain that I will be united with my loved ones. I'm certain that I will be eternally happy and live forever in heaven. Maybe that confidence will never be there, but I experience it in the desire for that mysterious, for the, my desire for that unrealized longing, my desire, for example, for my children to be happy in the future beyond my death. So I'm really desiring that one of my desires be unfulfilled. And the satisfaction of that desire is my belief in heaven. So that's a really weird and crazy thought to me that I'm sure as soon as I turn this video off, I will think of a few better ways to say that. But I don't know, I think there probably are a lot of former Christians and Christians today just confused and disillusioned over the fact that regardless of a lifetime of hearing about heaven, that a belief in heaven never materialized. Like a belief in heaven in the way that we are supposed to believe in heaven. A belief in heaven in a way that I think a lot of people are maybe pretending to believe in heaven, and a lot of people legitimately do. Like my mom talks about heaven, and she's in her mind, she's there. All of her suffering is gone, and all of the confusion of life is gone, and she's just with God, with Jesus, and she's just living in heaven. And I have never had that. I've never had that assurance, but I have felt the satisfaction of my life beyond death, if that makes sense. I have felt a desire for my efforts and the fruits of my labor to come to fruition at a later date, and to be a part of a bigger work. And it might be a leap, and it might even be wrong to say that that is my belief in heaven, but it's sort of, it's a reward that the experience of which is completely unknown to me. And it even has a little bit of bittersweetness, because it feels like the most likely thing is that there is no reward there, that I will literally, my modernist thinking will never let me fully believe that I won't just be gone. And yet that I have that sense of wanting for my righteousness to move out beyond me. And obviously it's not my righteousness, right? It's just righteousness. It's just God. It's just love. I just want to be a part of love beyond my life. So anyway, I'm coming up on 20 minutes. If it looks like some people have come and gone in this, nobody has chatted, that's totally fine. I would love for somebody to comment on this. Sometimes I feel like these things, I'm kind of alone in them. Twitter is actually nice for that, as toxic as it can be. But I do. Um, this is kind of one of those things where I feel like I might even need to talk to somebody even to get my damn thought out. You know what I mean? Even to understand what I'm saying, I would need to talk to one of you fine people. So anyway, make a comment. Thank you very much. This is my awkward reintroduction to live streaming after a bit of a break. Have a great day, and I hope that anyone watching, I hope that someone watching this, of the very few people that will watch this, that someone will actually feel that stab of pleasure or that stab of desire for the unrealized fruition of their own efforts and of their own love traveling into the future beyond their life. Okay, thank you. Bye.